Imagine a country where a simple nod of the head can mean no, and a shake can mean yes. A land where mysterious dancers stride barefoot across burning coals unscathed by the flames. Picture valleys filled with millions of roses, their petals distilled into the world's most precious oil. Envision ancient gold treasures older than the Egyptian pyramids and folk songs literally soaring through outer space. This isn't a fantasy. This is Bulgaria. Welcome to Bulgaria, a hidden gem in the heart of the Balkans, brimming with secrets and surprises. In the next 20-odd minutes, we'll journey through this enchanting country's culture, history, geography, and people, unearthing the shocking facts about Bulgaria that you've probably never heard before. Buckle up. This travel adventure will change the way you see this overlooked corner of Europe. Bulgaria may not scream for attention on a map, but it is one of Europe's oldest countries, its name unchanged since the year 681 AD. In fact, Bulgaria's roots run so deep that it boasts some of the oldest gold treasure ever discovered on Earth. How old? Try over 6,000 years. In the 1970s, archaeologists unearthed a trove of gold artifacts in Varna, on Bulgaria's Black Sea coast. Delicate jewelry and ritual objects from a prehistoric civilization that flourished before the first pyramid was built in Egypt. This Varna gold treasure is the oldest processed gold in the world, an astonishing reminder that Bulgarian lands were home to advanced cultures long ago. But ancient Bulgaria holds even more mysteries. Long before the Bulgars or Slavs arrived, the Thracians, an enigmatic ancient people, lived here and left behind spectacular tombs and treasures. Thracian kings filled their burial mounds with chariots, weapons, and golden masks that still gleam eerily in museum light. Some believe the legend of Orpheus comes from these hills. The mythical musician who could charm wild beasts and even descended into the underworld is said to hail from the Rhodop Mountains in southern Bulgaria. And if you've heard of Spartacus, the gladiator who led a rebellion against Rome, yes, he too was a Thracian, born in these very lands. Bulgaria's soil is drenched in history and myth. As our journey continues, we find ourselves in Plovdiv, a city that feels like a living timeline. Plovdiv is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, older than Rome and Athens. Its cobbled streets and Roman amphitheater stand atop layers of Neolithic houses and Thracian fortresses. Here you literally walk through 8,000 years of history with every step. And Plovdiv is not alone. Bulgaria's capital, Sofia, also ranks among Europe's most ancient cities, with Neolithic settlements dating back at least 7,000 years. In Bulgaria, the past isn't just in textbooks, it's beneath your feet. Moving forward in time to the First Bulgarian Empire, we come upon a fact that has shaped half the world's alphabets. The Cyrillic alphabet was invented in Bulgaria. That's right. The writing system used today in Russia, Mongolia, and across Eastern Europe was created by Bulgarian scholars in the 9th century. Two monks, Saints Cyril and Methodius, devised an earlier script, and their Bulgarian disciples refined it into Cyrillic around the late 800s. This cultural export was so influential that over 250 million people now use the Cyrillic letters. Every time you see Moskva or Mongolia written out, you're looking at a piece of Bulgarian heritage. It's a point of immense pride that little Bulgaria sparked a literacy revolution that spread across continents. During the medieval period, Bulgaria was a powerhouse, a mighty empire at times rivaling Byzantium. Its czars, kings were so bold, one even styled himself Emperor of the Bulgarians and the Greeks after military victories. But even more impressive than armies and titles is Bulgaria's spiritual resilience. When the Ottoman Turks conquered the nation in the late 14th century, Bulgaria vanished from the political map for 5 long centuries. Yet the Bulgarian identity survived. One reason was the remote monasteries tucked away in mountains and forests. Rila Monastery, for instance, founded in the 10th century and still active today, became a haven of culture, faith, and learning through the dark times. Its colorful frescoes and striped archways seem to whisper tales of endurance and hope. Today, Rila Monastery is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a sacred stronghold that kept Bulgarian language and Orthodox Christian traditions alive when they were under threat. Imagine candlelight flickering on gold icons as monks secretly transcribed manuscripts in Bulgarian. Scenes like this ensured that when Bulgaria re-emerged as a state in 1878, it still remembered who it was. Now, let's talk about one of Bulgaria's most quirky cultural surprises, something that trips up almost every foreign visitor. In Bulgaria, shaking your head side to side means yes, and nodding up and down means no. You heard that correctly. A Bulgarian will shake their head, as if in disapproval, to say da, yes, and nod, as if agreeing, to say ni, no. This opposite gesture custom is so famously confusing that even Bulgarians sometimes clarify in cross-cultural conversations to avoid mishaps. There are various theories how this came to be. One colorful legend says that during the Ottoman era, Bulgarians forced to convert religions would nod to pretend agreement while actually signaling no in their hearts. A silent rebellion that stuck. Whether or not that tale is true, the fact remains. If you're in Bulgaria and offer someone a drink, don't be shocked if they nod and walk away. It's not you, it's the headshake. Consider yourself warned by this documentary so you won't be caught off guard by the yes means no riddle of Bulgaria. Bulgarians have many such unique traditions. As winter fades and spring approaches, you'll notice the country suddenly speckled with red and white threads. On March 1st, virtually everyone, and from toddlers to grandparents, dons a martinitsa, a red and white yarn bracelet or yarn doll. This is an ancient custom to welcome spring and wish good health. People wear the martinitsa until they spot a blooming tree or a stork returning from migration, then tie the thread onto a branch. Walk through a Bulgarian park in late March, and you'll see trees decorated with hundreds of these red-white tokens. It's a charming sight, unique to Bulgaria and parts of neighbors, meant to please Baba Marta. Grandma March, the spirit of spring in folklore. In a world of globalized culture, such a quaint, pervasive tradition feels like pure magic. And then there are the festivals that will leave you speechless. Each winter, as the new year begins, Bulgarians in different regions perform rituals to chase away evil spirits and invite prosperity. In remote villages, you might encounter the kukeri, men, and nowadays women too, dressed in outrageous costumes made of shaggy fur, animal horns, and grotesque masks, with dozens of heavy cowbells strapped around their waists. They dance and parade through the streets, clanging and jumping in a cacophony meant to scare off any lurking evil. This bizarre masquerade dates back millennia to pagan times. Imagine, a tradition older than Christianity still alive today. The kukeri costumes are incredible. Some look like towering monsters or hairy giants. At the annual Serva festival in Pernik, Bulgaria, hundreds of kukeri from all over the country gather, turning the town into a scene from where the wild things are. The spectacle is chaotic, otherworldly, and utterly unforgettable. It's Bulgaria's very own carnival of the beasts, and behind the frightful masks lies a beautiful idea: to usher in the new year purified of negativity, with joy and good harvest to come. If you think walking on hot coals is impossible, think again. In southeastern Bulgaria, in the Stranja Mountains, a few villages keep an ancient fire dancing ritual alive. It's called nestinarstvo. As dusk falls on a summer's day, villagers gather around glowing embers. Drums start to pound a hypnotic rhythm. Suddenly, fire dancers, nestinari, step into the red-hot embers, barefoot, and perform a slow, entranced dance while literally stepping on fire. Yes, real burning embers, no tricks. And they don't get burned. The dancers carry icons of Saint Constantine and Helena, as this ritual coincides with their feast day in early June. The sight of figures moving gracefully on fiery coals, their faces in a trance, the surrounding crowd holding its breath. It feels like a scene out of a mystical saga. Scholars believe this tradition may trace back to ancient pagan rituals of the Thracians or Greeks worshipping the sun or Dionysus. Suppressed for a time in the 20th century, the practice survived across the nearby border in Greece and has since been reintroduced and recognized as a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. It remains shrouded in mystery how the Nestinari do it. Some say it's divine protection, others credit experience and the right conditions of the coals. Either way, witnessing the fire dance is a spine-tingling experience that leaves even skeptics astonished. Bulgaria once again shows it can hold secrets that science alone can't fully explain. Bulgaria's nature, too, holds its own surprises, sometimes looking like it stepped out of a fantasy novel. In the southwest, near the town of Melnik, famous for wine and history, you'll find Bulgaria's very own pyramids. Not man-made pyramids, but a jaw-dropping sandstone pyramid landscape carved by nature. Towering triangular cliffs of sand and clay, in hues of gold and ochre, rise sharply from the green hills. These are the Melnik Earth Pyramids, formations sculpted by rain and wind over thousands of years. They look like the backdrop of an alien planet, spires and chimneys reaching toward the sky. Hike among them at sunset, and you might believe you've wandered into a dream. And while you're there, treat yourself to a glass of robust Melnik red wine, a local varietal beloved since antiquity. Legend says Winston Churchill even had Melnik wine shipped to him regularly. Nature and culture blend seamlessly in Bulgaria. Even bizarre geology comes with a side of wine and tradition. Travel east, and you might stumble upon another natural oddity, the Pobiti Kamani, often called the Stone Desert. A desert-like field of stone columns near Varna, their origin still debated. Are they fossilized corals, formed by methane gas eruptions? No one's sure. Our journey north to see the Belograchik rocks, where massive sandstone pillars, chiseled into uncanny shapes by time, surround the ruins of an old fortress. These rocks have names like the Madonna, the Horseman, the Castle. Local legend tells of monks, maidens, and even a schoolgirl turned to stone. Standing among Belograchik's rust-red formations feels like walking through the petrified silhouettes of giants. In the Rhodope Mountains, there's a formation called the Wonderful Bridges, natural stone arches big enough to stride across, formed when an ancient cave collapsed. So, if you find yourself in a Bulgarian forest and suddenly come upon a huge rocky bridge arcing over a river gorge, don't be too shocked. That's just Bulgaria for you. And not far away is the Devil's Bridge, an elegant yet eerie Ottoman-era stone bridge arching over the Arda River in a narrow canyon. The Devil's Bridge comes with spooky folklore. One tale claims the builder made a pact with the devil, and the devil's footprint is hidden on the stones. In the misty morning light, the bridge's reflection forms an almost perfect oval, like a portal to another world. It's beautiful, but you might just get goosebumps. Even underground, Bulgaria captivates. Sneak into the Devil's Throat Cave in the Rhodopes, and you'll hear the thunder of an underground waterfall, one of the Balkans' largest. According to myth, Orpheus used this cave to descend to the underworld in search of Eurydice. Toss a coin into the churning abyss beneath the waterfall, and it will never reappear downstream. The river simply vanishes into the bowels of the earth. No wonder locals name this chasm the Devil's Throat. From mountaintops to caverns, Bulgaria is a trove of natural wonders. But it also has gentle beauty. The country's mountains give birth to countless mineral springs, making Bulgaria one of the top destinations in Europe for spa and wellness tourism. A tradition that goes back to Roman times. The Romans loved Bulgaria's baths. The highest peak in the Balkans, Musala, 2,925 meters, is in Bulgaria, offering panoramic views from its summit. And Bulgaria's climate nurtures rich biodiversity. You can find bears, wolves, lynx, and rare birds thriving in its national parks. This land can be as wild as it is enchanting. Now breathe in and savor the fragrance of Bulgaria. In late spring, the air itself seems perfumed. We're in the famed Rose Valley near the town of Kazanlak, and the damask roses are in bloom. Each May and June, endless fields of pink roses stretch across the valley floor, backdropped by mountains. At sunrise, crews of rose pickers gently pluck the fragile blossoms, filling baskets with millions of petals. Why? To produce rose oil, the liquid gold of Bulgaria. It takes over 3,000 kilograms of rose petals to distill just 1 kilogram of rose oil. And this precious substance sells for thousands of dollars per liter, coveted by perfumers in Paris and beyond. For centuries, Bulgaria, along with a neighboring region of Turkey, has been the world's top producer of rose oil, a key ingredient in luxury perfumes. In fact, during the 19th and early 20th centuries, Bulgaria's rose oil was so prized it was traded on international markets like currency. Even today, Bulgarian rose oil is considered the finest in the world. Just a few drops can scent an entire batch of perfume. The locals are so proud of this heritage that every year they hold a rose festival, with folkloric celebrations, a rose queen pageant, and of course, joyful dawn gatherings to harvest the blossoms. It's a breathtaking cultural experience. Rows of women in traditional embroidered dress, singing folk songs as they work amid the dew-kissed roses. The sight and scent of the Rose Valley in bloom is something you'll never forget. And roses aren't Bulgaria's only claim to fragrance fame. This country has also become one of the world's largest producers of lavender oil in recent years, even overtaking Provence at times. Drive through the Bulgarian countryside in summer, and you might mistake the purple expanses of lavender fields for southern France. The combination of rose and lavender fields has made central Bulgaria an unexpected aromatic paradise. Who would guess that this small Balkan nation is an essential linchpin of the global perfume industry? Yet it's true. Chances are the perfume or cosmetics you use have a piece of Bulgaria's flora in them, whether you knew it or not. Our journey of surprises continues at the breakfast table. Yogurt? You've had it? You love it. But did you know you partly have Bulgaria to thank for it? The word yogurt itself comes from the region, from Turkish yoğurt. But more importantly, the specific bacteria that gives yogurt its tangy flavor and health benefits is called Lactobacillus bulgaricus, named after Bulgaria. In 1905, a Bulgarian microbiologist, Dr. Stamen Grigorov, discovered this strain and proved how it ferments milk. Bulgaria has long claimed yogurt as its own invention, with legends saying that nomadic Bulgar tribes first cultured yogurt in goat skins as they traveled the steppes. True or not, Bulgarian yogurt is special. It's thick, creamy, and has a uniquely tart taste that Bulgarians swear is the best in the world. They even attribute their ancestors' longevity to a diet rich in yogurt. So next time you enjoy a spoonful of yogurt, remember a shocking fact. You're tasting a bit of Bulgaria's microbial heritage, a gift to global cuisine over 100 years ago. Speaking of Bulgarian cuisine, picture a flaky pastry called banitsa, filled with cheese and eggs. It's the beloved national breakfast. But on New Year's Eve, banitsa becomes a tool for fortune-telling. Families bake lucky charms or handwritten fortunes into the layers of phyllo dough. When the banitsa is served, each person discovers a fortune paper in their slice, predicting their fate for the year, wealth, travel, love, etc. It's a fun holiday custom, showing how Bulgarians infuse magic even into their cooking. And if you sip a cup of strong Turkish-style coffee after, don't be surprised if someone offers to read your fortune from the coffee grounds. That's another time-honored Bulgarian practice. In fact, Bulgarians adore little rituals of fortune and luck. Order an espresso in a cafe and you might receive a surprise on the side, a tiny rolled paper with a proverb or fortune tucked under your coffee cup. It's like a mini fortune cookie without the cookie. This trend started around 20 years ago as a clever idea by one coffee shop, and it caught on. Now it's a beloved tradition from Sofia to small towns. Your morning caffeine may come with a side of wisdom or a playful prediction just to brighten your day. It's these small, charming touches that make traveling in Bulgaria so delightful and unique. By now, you might be thinking Bulgaria is all about the past: ancient gold, old rituals, timeless mountains. But prepare to be shocked again. Bulgaria has been an unlikely pioneer in science and technology. This humble nation has contributed to innovations that changed the modern world. For example, the first electronic digital computer had a Bulgarian-American co-creator. In the late 1930s, John Atnasoff, the son of a Bulgarian immigrant father, developed the Atnasoff-Berry computer, which introduced the concepts of binary computation and memory storage that paved the way for modern computers. While Atanasoff built it in the US, Bulgaria proudly claims his heritage. A statue of him stands in Sofia. So, in a way, a Bulgarian was at the forefront of the computer revolution. Fast forward to the 1970s. Have you ever heard of the digital watch? Of course, and we wear them every day now. But the world's first digital wristwatch was invented by a Bulgarian engineer, Peter Petrov. In 1971, Petrov introduced the Pulsar watch, the first of its kind, after working on NASA space monitoring tech and wireless heart monitors. It was cutting-edge, futuristic, and it came from the mind of someone born and educated in Bulgaria. The watch even cost a whopping $2,100 back then, over $12,000 today, a luxury gadget for the tech elite. This little-known fact blows people's minds. A Bulgarian pioneered the smartwatch's ancestor. And speaking of space and Bulgarians, guess what? Bulgaria is the sixth nation in the world to send an astronaut to space. During the Cold War, Bulgaria had an active space program in cooperation with the Soviets. The country sent two of its own cosmonauts into orbit in 1979 and 1988 and launched satellites. But perhaps more impressively, Bulgaria became the third country after the US and USSR to develop space food for astronauts. Bulgarian scientists created menus for cosmonauts, including delicacies like canned stuffed peppers and even space yogurt. Yes, they managed to include their famous yogurt in astronaut diets, freeze-dried of course. They also pioneered growing vegetables in orbit. Bulgarian researchers were first to cultivate plants, a cosmic greenhouse in space, successfully growing radishes and wheat on space stations to help feed crews. These achievements might sound quirky, but they're very real. In fact, as of the 1980s, many Soviet and later international astronauts dined on Bulgarian-made space food. One small step for man, one giant leap for Bulgarian cuisine. Bulgaria's contributions even touched the moon. Bulgarian-made components were reportedly used in the engines of the Apollo moonlander, ensuring Neil Armstrong had a smooth landing on the Sea of Tranquility. Few people know this, but hidden behind the giants of the space race was a team of brilliant Bulgarian minds pushing the boundaries of exploration. This country's scientific legacy in aerospace is honored by the fact that a peak in Antarctica and even craters on the moon and Mars are named after Bulgarians. It's incredible. For a country of its size, Bulgaria's impact reaches far beyond the Earth. Perhaps the most poetic example of Bulgaria's cosmic presence is not a satellite or engine, but a song. In 1977, NASA sent the Voyager 1 and 2 probes into deep space carrying the famous Golden Record, a phonograph record with sounds and music from Earth, intended for any extraterrestrial intelligence that might find it. Out of all the world's music, the curator selected a haunting Bulgarian folk song, Itslel ya Delio Haidutin, sung by Valya Balkanska. This beautiful, otherworldly song about a legendary rebel was deemed one of Earth's proudest cultural expressions. So right now, as we speak, Voyager 1 is over 15 billion miles from Earth, racing through interstellar space, and on that little golden disc it carries is the voice of a Bulgarian folk singer echoing through the cosmos. Just think. Long after humanity is gone, if alien ears ever hear human music, one of the first songs that will represent us is from the mountains of Bulgaria? How's that for a shocking fact? A poor shepherdess's melody from the Rhodope Mountains is literally among the stars. Our exploration wouldn't be complete without a peek into the mysterious people of Bulgaria. And there's no one more shrouded in enigma than Baba Vanga, the blind prophetess of Bulgaria. Born as Vangelia Pandeva in 1911, Baba Vanga lost her sight as a child under strange circumstances. A freak tornado, she said. Despite living in obscurity in the rural Koju Mountains, she rose to global fame for her uncanny predictions of future events. Over the decades, many came to believe that Baba Vanga had extraordinary clairvoyant powers. She allegedly foretold the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, the breakup of the Soviet Union, the date of Tsar Boris III's death, and even the 9/11 attacks in New York, all long before they happened. People gave her the nickname the Balkan Nostradamus. By the late 20th century, everyone from Soviet leaders to Hollywood actors were seeking an audience with her, hoping to hear their fortunes. Imagine a humble elderly woman sitting in her small house in the Bulgarian mountains, with world power brokers and celebrities knocking at her door, desperate for guidance. Whether one believes in her abilities or not, Baba Vanga became a legend. To this day, many Bulgarians speak of her prophecies with reverence or curiosity. She died in 1996, but her legacy lives on in countless books and documentaries, and her predictions, real or attributed, still circulate in media every new year. Baba Vanga is a reminder that Bulgaria's surprises aren't just historical or natural. Some are almost supernatural. It's a place where even a blind village woman can become an international oracle and folk hero. From mystics to musicians, Bulgaria has produced remarkable people. Opera singer Boris Christoph and soprano Gana Dimitrova stunned opera halls worldwide with their voices. The painter Vladimir Dimitrov's vibrant works, the Nobel laureate writer Elias Canetti's ideas, Julia Kristeva's philosophy, the list goes on. But perhaps it's the collective spirit of the Bulgarian people, more than individual names, that leaves a mark on visitors. This is a nation that has been forged through centuries of adversity, invasions, empires, communism, and yet has held fast to its identity, language, and joie de vivre. Bulgarians are famously hospitable. If you travel there, don't be shocked if locals invite you, a perfect stranger, to join their table for a meal, or insist you try their homemade rakaya, a strong fruit brandy, and their grandmother's banitsa. The warmth is genuine and deeply ingrained. In Bulgarian tradition, no guest should ever leave hungry or without a drink. Perhaps it harks back to the times when survival depended on tight-knit community. But today, it just feels like incredible hospitality to the traveler. As our journey comes to an end, let's recap what we've discovered. Bulgaria is a country where East meets West, ancient meets modern, and mundane meets miraculous. It's a place where an ordinary gesture can have an opposite meaning, keeping you on your toes. Ancient civilizations left behind gold so old it rewrites history. Medieval scholars gave an alphabet to the world, and secretive monks preserved a nation's soul. Folklore and traditions run deep. Evil is chased by fur-clad kukri clanging bells, and luck is baked into banitsa pies. People dance on fire in trance-like devotion, and others speak of prophecies and psychic visions. Nature displays phantasmagorical shapes, pyramids of sand, rocks like castles, caves that sing. Fields of roses bloom into the raw ingredient of the world's finest perfumes. A humble bacterium from Bulgarian yogurt became a gift to global health. And high above, Bulgarian achievements have touched the heavens. From early airplanes in 1912 to cosmic gardens and songs traveling among the stars. It's hard to believe so many extraordinary stories belong to one small country about the size of Ohio. But that's Bulgaria for you. Endlessly surprising. Its very name, according to one theory, means the mixed people, and indeed, Bulgaria is a mosaic of influences. Thracian, Slavic, Bulgar, Ottoman, and beyond. Perhaps that rich blend is what makes it so unique. If you've never thought of visiting Bulgaria, we hope this journey has sparked your curiosity. Wander its ancient ruins, listen to its folk music echoing in the mountain valleys, savor the yogurt and rose jam, chat with the locals. Just remember the nod shake rule. Every step you take might uncover another astonishing fact or legend. Bulgaria rewards the curious traveler with layer upon layer of culture and history. In a world that can feel fully charted and familiar, Bulgaria reminds us there are still places that can truly surprise us. From the depth of time to the reaches of space, its influence belies its size. So next time someone says, "Oh, Bulgaria, what's there?" you'll have quite an answer for them. In fact, several shocking answers. Bulgaria, a land of hidden treasures and living traditions. Ancient yet young at heart, quiet yet profoundly influential. We've pulled back the curtain on some of its best kept secrets, but there's so much more to discover. In the end, the most shocking fact about Bulgaria might be how a country so fascinating has remained so under the radar. Thank you for joining this journey. We hope you've been intrigued and inspired by Bulgaria's mysteries. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and remember, sometimes the world's smallest places hold the biggest surprises